This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. If you've not checked out the Dr. John Deloney Show and been on it, it's on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on YouTube, anywhere you listen to podcasts as well. His book, best-selling book, is called Redefining Anxiety, and working on a new book now that'll come out next year. We'll tell you more about all of that. So be sure you check it out. If you want to participate in his show, it's all about relationships and mental health and anxiety and boundaries and crazy people in your family and all that kind of stuff. Or maybe you're the crazy person in your family. I don't know. All that kind of stuff.
Crazy bosses.
Whoa, careful. See, it's about boundaries, too.
Boundaries. There you go.
It's about decorum.
What to do when you're unemployed. Right. All of them.
How to spend your unemployment money. It's a hostile work environment,
how to
John.
Pack your office.
John, it's a hostile work environment. I'm just warning you.
Right.
Okay, so just ahead of time, you need to know these things. You can email John at askjohn@ramseysolutions.com. For God's sakes, get on that show because he needs some callers. No, he has a ton of callers.
We're good, man. Poor Kelly.
Poor Kelly. Leave a voicemail at 844-693-3291 if you want to talk to John. But, by the way, you could talk to him here today. And if you get through, the phone number is 888-825-5225. Hope is with us in Midland, Texas. Hi, Hope. How are you?
Hi, and how are you guys doing today?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Well, first off, I just want to say what a pleasure it was to see both of you at Summit this year in Dallas. That was very enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. It was a great event. We had a lot of fun.
It was great. My question today, actually, just a background. My husband and I together started our own business 13 years ago, and it's just over the last 4 or 5 years, it's gone downhill. He and I have a lot of issues with communicating, almost to the extent of not communicating at all, but it is affecting our business a great deal because he and I are not on the same page as far as strategy, how to go about the operation of the business and get it going. So I guess my question is what kind of advice you would have relationship as well as just keeping our business afloat and moving it forward when we're not on the same page at all.
How's your marriage?
Suffering because of it.
Is it the chicken or the egg? Are they self-reinforcing one another? My guess is things were tough at home, and they become tough in the office, and they become tougher at home, and the thing just spins faster and faster.
Yeah.
Have you guys stepped away from everything and gone over to Dallas for a weekend just to say, hey, what in the world's going on? Or has this thing just started spinning so fast, and all of a sudden you look up, and it's a year or two later, and you're not talking anymore?
It just kind of spun, and then, like you said, 2 or 3 years later, now things are just so totally out of control. And
if we were talking to him, would he say there's a problem too?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, this is one of those moments that can be a really important, it's going to be an important moment either way, but it can be something not to be feared. It can be a beautiful moment, one of those redefining, rebuilding, excavation, start over, rebuilding moments, but it's got to have to happen. Somebody's got to turn the lights on, turn the music off, take an inventory of the party you've been having and saying, hey, where are we? What's going on? And I love it when couples can look each other in the eye and say, hey, we need to do this and have this moment, we need to take a postmortem on what's happened and decide where we're going to go. But somebody's got to just say stop for a second.
Yeah, you guys need a good marriage counselor in your corner
ASAP.
to start with.
Yeah.
To start with, and just the business will not heal until your marriage does.
Right. We have done marriage counseling literally about a year and a half ago, and
apparently you didn't do it well.
Right.
Apparently not.
No. Why didn't it go
Apparently
well?
not.
Why didn't it go well?
He kind of just checks out. We've even done business coaching and, saying two different counselors. A business coach literally fired us a year and a half ago or 2 years ago because he wouldn't participate. We were in coaching for 15 months, and he just wouldn't do his part of it. He wouldn't schedule for our weekly sessions, things like that. He just wouldn't. He just checks out and doesn't even give a reason, just checks out and doesn't do it. And it was kind of the same way in our marriage counseling. I mean, he attended because we went together, but he would just kind of clam up and nothing really was being said from his point. And he did tell me he didn't like the counselor, the marriage counselor, that he didn't like him, he didn't trust him or something. And it just didn't go anywhere. And literally since that time, we've just kind of quit talking, literally.
So your relationship, if you stop and step out of it for a minute, it's on life support.
Yes.
And I would say you're in an emergency status, and it sounds like you've got a guy that is unable to say, "Hey, I'm done with this thing." And I don't want to blame him. Doesn't have the tools, or is a coward, or whatever you want to say, but he's unable to say, "I'm through with this thing," and he's going to slowly suffocate it. And somebody's got to turn all the lights on in that house and send the kids away for a weekend and say, we got to take an inventory. Because what he's communicating to you is he is finished and he doesn't have the courage to say he's done, or he's scared of you, or he doesn't want to be in this business anymore and he doesn't know how to say it out loud. Somehow he is slowly pulling this thing underwater. Counseling, we call it the one down position, but he's drowning the house slowly but surely. And usually your role in this is to try to keep yanking as hard as you can the other direction, and it just creates this tension that ends up sinking the boat anyway. So you've got to just stop the music and say, are you done with this marriage?
I'm not going to continue to participate in crazy the way it exists.
No.
I'm going to say, we're going to do something different. Now, do you want to work on this and heal it? If you do, that involves you finding a counselor that you trust, that we can sit down with, and that you're willing to open up in front of, and thus to get this stuff fixed. Otherwise, it's just going to continue to deteriorate. This is not working. Continuing to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
It's insanity.
And if you're seeking outside direction and you're not taking the direction from outside, that's him. There has to be a reason.
Yeah.
I can buy. I've sat down with people that I didn't trust, and I'm not going to open up in front of them.
Absolutely.
I'm not doing that. I can buy that as a reason, but the answer is not nothing then. The answer is go find a different counselor.
Right.
Go find one you can.
And he's communicating to you. If he won't find another counselor, that's a communication to you that I'm done. I'm through with this.
Or he just doesn't have the tools to work this through, whatever it is. But yeah, you got to have somebody in your corner at least guiding you through these tough discussions that you have got to have immediately. The business has not got a chance until the marriage does.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. All right, John, you are a PhD in counseling, and you've done a lot of trauma work. and you've done a lot of work with couples over the years as well. If you were just going to, you may know some research off the top of your head to answer this, but you may also have just an anecdotal feel for it. When a spouse, for virtually, for no obvious reason that's on the surface that's in front of us, turns away repeated counseling and stonewalls in counseling, what percentage of the time is there a third party involved in an affair?
I don't have any data, but that's my first. That's my number one question I always ask somebody. Are you seeing somebody else? Are you done? Right? Have you
if they're saying I don't want to work on this, or they sabotage all the counseling by not showing up, or by showing up physically but not emotionally, not relationally, and so on. They're not engaged in the repair.
Right. That will be one of the first questions I ask, if not the first, is are you seeing somebody else? Are you through with this interaction here? Are you done with this person? It's like going to the doctor, and the doctor says, let me do a checkup on you, and you just say, no, I'm good. And they say, well, here's some medicine. I'm good. Like, at some point, you are deciding to not be a part of the solution here, and I want to know why. But
yeah, man, I'm trying to think of other whys.
The only other why that comes to mind is somebody they grew up in a family that's so maligned counseling. That's for losers or idiots or psychopaths or crazies, and you don't need to go to counseling. That's for head
shrinkers.
Yeah, it's for losers. Maybe the sense of failure is so great, or man, if I can't say the right thing to make my wife okay, I feel like that makes me feel like a loser, right? I get that, and so it could be something. The shame is so heavy. But I want to rattle that cage, and I'm going to ask, are you cheating on me? Are you seeing somebody else, right? I just can't think of a reason other than those two reasons why somebody would.
It comes up, again, I'm not in that world, but I end up in that world too often because the money piece.
You are in that world.
The money piece ends up on the marriage plate. The marriage piece ends up on the money plate. And so I end up, and this guy's completely disconnected. This gal's completely disconnected. I can't get them to engage in anything on the money stuff. And I'm like, they're not staying.
Right.
For some reason or another, they're not staying.
And sometimes when the person calls and asks that question, Dave, we all have friends like this. My wife's crazy. My wife's crazy. My wife's crazy. And you talk to your wife and you go, no, brother, you are. Right. And so it could be that this is round 10 of some thing that she wants to fix. And he's like, I'm not doing another one of your schemes because you won't participate. So we always get one side on the show.
That's true.
But
so I'm not saying that happened with her or him necessarily.
In that last
case,
call, yeah.
But it just made me wonder during the commercial break, from your perspective, because you've got a lot more professional insight than I do on it. Mine's just an old guy hanging around with a whole bunch of hurting people for a lot of years, and it just gives me a sense of these things. But
what do you think?
I would say north of 50%.
Yeah.
That's I'm just a wet finger in the air, though. I have nothing to base it on. Just because I can't there, and it might be that they gave up on the situation and then went and got the affair, rather than the affair caused them to give up on the situation. I don't know which one that is, but they're gone.
Right.
They just hadn't left yet.
That's right.
That's the thing.
Some people don't have the tools. I don't know how to end a marriage. I don't know how to break up. I don't want to be the one that's the bad guy. So I'm just going to slowly.
Breaking up is hard to do.
There you go. I'm just going to drown this thing, right? Slowly but surely suffocate it.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, on the way down, I'm going to make you feel crazy.
Gaslight them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So who knows? But I just don't understand.
Again, we're not saying that's the last caller.
No,
we're not
saying
that. It just made me question and made me wonder. I wanted to ask you in front of everybody else. Kenzie is in Des Moines, Iowa. Hi, Kenzie. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, what's up?
Well, my question today, I'm going to try to explain this as fast as I can, is I recently got engaged in April. Before I met my fiance, he had purchased land. He has 40 acres, and I was renting. So I have a rental. My question is, we're trying to figure out, we're getting married next year in July. We're trying to figure out, do we build a house on the 40 acres together? Do we find a trailer house to throw out there, or do we rent the house together until either the land is paid off or I am out of debt?
Either the land, the land is paid off and you're out of debt. What'd you say?
Yeah, so he still owes money on the land. I am not. I'm on baby step 2, and so when we get married,
Okay, you should rent until you get out of debt.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you should not buy a trailer because trailers
Okay.
go down in value. Those two things are easy. Then the only question is, are we going to build on this 40 acres after you're out of debt?
Right.
That's the only question
Or buy-
remaining. Do you want to live on the 40 acres? I kind of
Yeah,
hear in your voice you don't.
Yeah. No, actually, I really do like where it lives. We're just trying to figure out, do we find somewhere else to live and buy a house, or do we build?
Well, why would you build somewhere else if you want to live on the 40 acres?
I don't know.
I don't
guess
either.
We would just build on the 40. We would
Okay.
just probably build on the 40 acres.
Yeah, you need to be debt. You need to be debt free. Other than the acreage, you guys need to be clear of that, and you need to be married. Now, I also would tell you that building a house is a large and complicated project for a brand new marriage to undertake. It makes a 25-year marriage have some world class fights. A 25-day marriage, woo! You are putting it at risk. Because I mean, you can kill each other over freaking curtains.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
So you need to be real careful. I'm not sure I would say, hey, the smartest thing you can do right after you get married is build a house together. As a matter of fact, I can say that's going to put an extra strain on a very young and tender marriage, and I probably wouldn't recommend it. But not to the point I tell you not to do it. But it's just you're asking for trouble, and you better be watching for trouble because he's going to knock on your door while you're doing this, John.
Yeah, and by the way, in a year when you're married, your debt is y'all's debt, and that acreage debt is y'all's debt, right?
Yes.
This is something y'all are going to put in this order, in the snowball order, and you're going to pay it off together there.
Yeah, work your way right through the whole thing. Very good. Jeremy's in Detroit. Hey, Jeremy, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Well, thanks a lot for taking my call.
Sure.
So my wife and I have been angsting over a car purchase for a little bit, and kind of want to see what you think. But
Cool.
maybe me.
How much money do you have?
Her. Right now, we've got $25K emergency fund, $80K liquid investments, $60K in our kids' college funds.
Great. What are you talking about
$1 million in
spending on the
retirement.
car?
I would like a Tesla Model 3 Performance. It's a $65,000 car.
Is that a used car?
Now, this would be new.
Or do you have
actually
a $1
used
million
Tesla.
net worth?
1.8. Yep.
Okay. And what's your household income?
So I make $196K a year. With
Buy the car.
another, like six.
Buy the car.
Pretty easy, huh?
Well, you have the
Yeah, my
money.
friends are-
You have the money. It's a small percentage of your income. You have a net worth of $2 million. This is a $65,000 car.
Okay.
You're not
Yeah,
buying.
I've
You're
been
not asking. You're not buying a $250,000 Lamborghini.
No, maybe in another decade or two. But
Well, not maybe another couple of million in net worth, and but because you want your rolling stock, anything with wheels and motors, totaled up to be less than half your annual income, and it is.
yeah, even with that, I've got bonuses and
Yeah,
other side.
and you
hustles
obviously
stuff
need
I'm
to pay
doing as
cash
well.
for it because you called Dave freaking Ramsey, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would come out of the liquid. And, I
And you
would
don't
get
buy
right
a new
back
car
to-
unless you have over $1 million net worth, and you do.
Ta-da! You got a Tesla. Congratulations. You
Touchdown.
don't get a lot of people calling Dave for permission to buy a Tesla and him saying, go buy the car. So don't push your luck, brother. Go buy the Tesla. Quit asking questions
Well,
and go buy the Tesla.
It
No,
meets
it is what it
meets
is.
the guidelines.
That's right.
I don't tell people to not have a good life. I tell them to get themselves in a position that they do have a good life.
Get the Tesla.
Get the Tesla, I guess.
James,
It's a-
cut that and
It
keep
is,
it.
It is a Tesla, but there's that. But this is the Ramsey Show. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Scott and Diane are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Wonderful.
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
In the St. Louis area, just across the river, Wood River, Illinois.
Yeah.
About 30 minutes north.
Good to have you guys. So, welcome. How much debt have you paid off?
$155,000.
Yay. And how long did this take?
7 years, 8 months.
Okay. Excellent. And your range of income during that time?
75,000 to 90 with a COVID backslide last year, about 30% cut last year.
Woo! That's a bite.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yes, and yet we still paid off the house.
Wow. Imagine that, people. House and everything.
Yep.
Yes.
Completely free.
Completely.
Yes.
How old are you guys?
I'm 49. She's
I'm 52.
All right. That's
Your condition.
perfect.
I will not say that number.
Yes.
Exactly.
I will
Yes.
point and let her finish.
When we started dating, I was 18, he was 15.
That works. Excellent, you guys. What's this house worth?
about $225,000.
Excellent.
Yep.
Wow, you've been doing this stuff for 8 years.
Well, longer than that. We actually started in 2010, and we were here in 2012 and signed the wall that's around the corner.
Yeah.
And paid off $36,172 then.
Yeah.
And then started baby step 3B.
So you were on the original debt-free wall that was beside the old
Yes.
studio.
Yes, right in the middle.
Right on the M.
We cut the drywall out
Yeah.
and moved it around, made it a display around on the corner from the hallway. Have you found your old
Yes.
signature?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And that was 2012.
2012, yeah.
January.
So, gosh, almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, you guys, this is amazing. How's it feel?
It's still days it's not real,
Yeah.
you know, and but it is so much more freedom. And you didn't realize how heavy that burden was, you know, until you started making a plan to get rid of it.
Yeah, and now it's gone.
Have you had the first month where there's no mortgage payment?
Yeah, we
Yes.
pay it off at the end of March, so we've had
29th.
a couple months of no
Okay.
payments, and I'm the one that usually balances the checkbook and pays the bills, and it still doesn't feel.
Just feels weird,
Well,
huh?
It does.
What?
Wow.
It doesn't feel right.
It's like,
Yeah.
like you missed something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money on that side of the ledger, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Amen
funny,
to
when you've
that.
been carrying a bunch of weight for a long time, you put it down, your arm feels weird. It feels like you're
It's
still
like being on the boat all
Yes.
day and you get on land and it's still wobbly, right? Yeah.
Exactly. That's interesting.
That's incredible.
You guys, very well done. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
The key is the budget. That's absolutely. We have not missed a budget since March 2010.
Yes.
Wow.
And doing the budget together and coming up with the same goals and dreams and outlook. And so those two things working together, because we were both sort of on the same page, but not totally. And so, you know, even if we're both going, this direction, you know, even if we were like this, then it recorrected us and got us going both the same direction with the same goals and dreams.
So you've been working the baby steps all the time, putting the 15% away?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So what are your investments
Yes.
looking like?
Real well. When we started this, you know, back in 2010, our net worth was negative. We are healthy six figures, probably, hopefully, millionaire status the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, you should be there.
Yeah.
You should be there shortly.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking with that house paid off and everything.
Yeah.
Way to go, guys. Baby,
Yes.
baby steps millionaires. Look at
Yeah.
you.
How do you keep doing this for 7 years?
Well, a couple
That's a
things.
long time.
Yes.
A couple things, as Diane said, we were focused together, and also we have coordinated FPU 18 times.
Whoa.
So we have lots of accountability partners throughout our community.
Yeah, you can't let all those people down.
No.
So we
And
probably have 600 to 700 people who've gone through it that we've got as accountability partners.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Well, and then also, I mean, just watching and rewatching FPU, and each time, you know, there would be new things that I'm like, I don't remember him saying that before. And so, I mean, we still took notes the 18th time.
18 times.
Yes.
18 times.
Wow, I don't know if I've
Yes.
watched it 18 times.
Wow.
So all the jokes are still funny to me.
I love it. You're
Are
so
they?
precious.
Yes,
Thank
they
you.
Are they, Diane?
Thank
They
you. I
are.
love you. You're amazing.
Yes,
You're my kind of people.
Yes, and it's still funny to me, but I laugh at everything.
Yes.
That's so great. That's so great. That's fun. Way to go, you guys.
Yes.
We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Well, we couldn't have done it without the pathway that you made
Well,
for us.
thank you. And you walked it and ran it and walked it and stumbled and did it. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
Very, very well
And
done.
put 2 kids through college during that too.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
No student loans.
Oh no.
No student
Oh,
loans.
no.
Guys, you got to lead with that.
Oh, no.
That's great too.
That's bigger than paying
That's
off
a
a mortgage.
couple of other
Yeah.
houses you paid
Yeah.
off, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
And so
I
now
mean,
you've launched 2 kids out in the world with no student loan debt,
Yeah.
and their parents have a fully paid for house. They're not going to have to put you guys in a retirement home, and you've completely changed the legacy.
100%.
Absolutely, 100%.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Are they behaving?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Both of them
yeah.
are doing very well.
Yes, our son's still at home. He has high functioning autism, so he'll probably stay with us for a little while. But he has had a job since he was 16 and is saving for his retirement, saving for his first house.
Wow.
And our daughter's out on her own and working for
Wow.
the same company that I worked for when she was a baby.
Wow.
And absolutely loves it.
And she's been able to get an apartment with no credit
with
score.
no credit score.
It can't be done. It can't be
Imagine
done.
Is there anything we tell people to do that they have not done? This is amazing.
Yes.
This
She's
is so
bought
great.
a car. She bought 2 cars with cash.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
It's the next generation. She's a
Yeah.
financial peace
You are
baby.
screwing up a lot of people's excuses listening
Yeah.
to
We're
the show.
trying. We're trying.
All the
hard.
excuses are gone now that
Yes.
you're here. Yeah.
No excuses.
That's so fun. Well done. Whoop, 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 whoop,
Awesome,
whoop.
guys.
Thank you.
Well, we've got a copy of The Legacy Journey. You probably have one, but I'm going to give you another one.
Thank
I'll give you a copy of The Total Money Makeover. I know you had one of those, but I'm going to give you another one, and you can give both of them away to somebody and pay it forward. That'll be awesome. We're so
Absolutely.
proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks for
Thank
sharing your
you.
great story of just being heroes, just taking control of your life. Very, very well done.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Scott and Diane, St. Louis area, 155,000 paid off, 7 years, 8 months, making 75 to 90. House and everything. We're looking at weird people. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free. Woo-hoo-hoo! That is how it's done.
That's so cool, man.
Doesn't get any better than that. You know, this is Financial Peace University 18 times. Wow, we're running a free trial on that right now with Ramsey Plus.
18 times.
I guess during the free trial, if you just binge watched it over and over, you could probably do it 18 times during the free trial, but you probably wouldn't get much else done during that time. But and it includes the Every Dollar budgeting app, which wasn't there when they started.
Nope.
The lessons are certainly updated and polished and everything else since they started. But if you want to jump on to Ramsey Plus and get the free trial, you can go through Financial Peace University. You can be budgeting with Every Dollar during the free trial. There's other classes. There's community. There's coaches there. Because you could be Scott and Diane someday.
No house payment. Just think about it for a
And
second.
no payments on their kids.
Nothing.
Everybody went to school debt-free.
Nothing.
They did like every baby step.
Man.
Paid kids college, did retirement. They're almost millionaires. Baby step millionaires on the way.
They're still holding hands. They still like each other. I don't even know what to. This
Wow.
is incredible.
She did have to shake his hand loose to make
She
that
did.
point.
He's
I
held on
saw
there pretty
that, but
tight. Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. All right, text trial, and you can get a free trial to Ramsey Plus and go through Financial Peace University right now. Text trial to 33789. Text trial to 33789. You know, it's we lay these baby steps and all the nuances around them out, and we talk about them because it's the framework by which we teach you to make decisions, because it's how we're going to answer a question here as well, as far as a financial part of the question goes anyway. Relational question, there's a whole different set of rules that you'll get into, but the or guidelines or principles that you'll get into. But that's what we envision when we talk this through, is that somebody that actually does it.
Yeah.
And if you actually do it, it works. Like years ago, we used to have a money-back guarantee. Everybody said, you ought to have a money-back guarantee. So I had a money-back guarantee. If you go to the class and do the stuff in the class, it works. If you don't, it won't.
Did you ever give anybody's money back?
I would have, but nobody asked because they're too ashamed. They didn't go to the class.
Or they did it and it works every single time.
Every time. Yeah, you don't want your money back if you did it and it worked. Hello, that's the thing.
It's incredible.
This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Lane is with us in Wilmington, Delaware. Hi, Lane. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Great. What's up?
So in March, I passed my occupational therapy board, so I have my master's in occupational therapy. However, last year I started a landscaping business. It's been full-time, so rather than getting a therapy job, I went ahead and did the landscaping full-time. It's been a great source of income. I have $12,000 left in debt, and I'm honestly just kind of burnt out, so I was trying to transition into my therapy job now. So I have less landscaping jobs, and I'm kind of in a weird limbo where I accepted an outpatient pediatric job, which I'm very passionate about, but it's only one day a week, and so that's not enough, and I'm having a hard time finding places that'll take me for the other 4 days.
Why did you leave the job you had before you had another job?
So I didn't. I am a small business owner, so I couldn't grow anymore without hiring someone, and I didn't want to have to do that because then you make less. So
I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem
with
with that. I'm just saying, why'd you shut it down before you had the new job lined up?
Oh, so I did not shut it down.
Okay.
I'm still doing it, but I have less jobs now than I did.
Did you intentionally take fewer jobs?
Yes, I did, because I honestly was burnt out and my attention to detail was going down, and I didn't want to provide people services with that mindset. And I was ready to get started with my professional career for what I went to school with.
Okay.
That part I'm in complete alignment on. It's just the timing thing.
Right. What did you say?
It's the timing thing. You stepped off of one income to no income. I would have loved for you to have had I'd love for you to have just gotten, your occupational therapy job and just quit landscaping.
Right. It's so getting credentialed through insurance takes like a month. So actually a month ago I sent in some applications, and then I found out now, after I already dwindled down the job, that getting credentialed through insurance takes some time.
Yeah.
And I do have $12,000 left of debt, which I feel like is eating me alive. And I kind of feel like a bum having even like 2 days off a week. So this is kind of just like I don't know. I can't go anywhere. I could go to a really great restaurant and apply and work there and make money, but, who knows, in a month I might have to say I have to leave. I don't feel like that's morally right to do.
So listen. You're cooked.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've sat with, I can't even tell you how many students who have finished their boards or finished the bar exam or finished whatever, and they're just cooked. And so where you find yourself is you are fried, but you did jump off. You chose to stop paying attention to detail because you got tired, right? It's not something that happened to you. It's something that you chose to do. You are just zonked, okay? And what happens when you get zonked is sometimes you start catastrophizing and start creating situations that then you try to solve that haven't even happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'd love to see you do is go find somebody in your community you can talk to. Just go talk to a counselor once or twice. Just go find somebody or go out with your friends, have people over to your house. I want you to be human again. Okay?
You've been a robot attacking tasks for a long time.
Yeah. You've been in fight or flight for years. Okay? You're going to have to take some more lawn jobs and some more landscaping jobs until you land a full-time job. And then here's what you do. You call your landscape clients and say, I'm getting out of this, and so here's your 2-week notice. And then you move on, right? And they will find somebody else. But you have overthought this and overspun this because your body's cooked, and you just need to start laughing again. Invite some friends over to your house again. You got to make some money, so you're going to have to pick up some more jobs again. If you just can't start that lawnmower one more time, then go get a job at a restaurant. I just don't know why you wouldn't just do it for another 5 or 6 months. Getting your boards, you thought you were going to write into a new job. As soon as you pass that test, we're going to start on Monday, and then you realize, are you freaking kidding me? There's more hurdles? Yes, there's more hurdles. And so now you're right back in it. Take some more jobs, make some more money, but start being a person.
Make the transition by Christmas.
Yeah.
But don't make it by Tuesday. Don't make it by Tuesday.
You're so close, honey. You're so close, and you're so strong, and you made it. You're going to be good, but you're not quite there yet. Okay.
So maybe make like Christmas my deadline. You're saying?
I don't care. I just made that up.
I'm
I just made that up.
Tired of the landscaping.
Yeah, you're tired. Yeah, you're tired, but you're so close. this is a terrible example, and I wish I had another one off the top of my head, but this is live radio. You know when you're in a long car ride and you got to pull over because you got to go, and then it feels right when you get to the gas station, all of a sudden it becomes a super emergency, right? That's where you're at. That's where you feel. You just got to hang in there, okay? Don't go in the car. Wait till you get inside, okay? Maybe the worst live radio analogy ever.
I think it probably qualifies as one of the worst ever. But yeah.
Hey, I know you're fried. I want you to have some people over this week. You'll watch a movie. You get some pizza and a glass of wine. Y'all laugh, but start re-engaging humanity again.
Lane, you're strong enough to hang on to do the transition wisely instead of this gap that you left between the incomes, which is now scaring you more than the burnout scared you. Does that make sense?
I have no reason to stress financially. I just got married in June, and everything's great. So I feel like I'm
your stress is not about math. It's not about math. Your stress is that your body has been in fight or flight. It's been on cortisol and adrenaline for years, and it finally just said enough.
You've been cranking through these tasks, and it just you've been in a machine in a good way. But very robotic. But it got you through there, and you can go from here. So you got the stuff it takes. You're just gonna have to make this transition a little more gentle, because it's driving you nuts.
Yeah.
Jeannie or more gradual. I don't know, incremental. Jeannie's in Tampa, Florida. Hi, Jeannie. How are you?
Hello, Dave. John. I'm well. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you. How can we help?
I am 59 years old, getting ready to reinvent my life after 30-some-odd years out of the traditional job market. And I'm trying to decide if it makes more sense to sell my home and relocate to a less expensive area for a fresh start.
Why are you reinventing your life at 59? I love your spirit and that language. What's going on?
Sadly, I'm facing a divorce after 33 years of marriage.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, reinvention.
Yeah.
When was it final?
It isn't yet. So I'm kind of in the process of that right now. It turned out after coming to financial peace in 2009, I didn't have a financial problem. We had, unfortunately, a relationship problem. So
wow.
I had my ELT over last night, and I got a price for the house, what I could sell my home for. My home is paid for. However, after it was all paid for, it ended up getting an equity line on it. So I do actually have two debts that would need to come out of the home if I chose to sell it.
What are you using for income after the divorce?
That's a bit of an issue. I belong to Business Boutique, and by trade, I'm a writer. And so, as you well know, with the publishing market, the way that it is, it's been kind of changing. So I've been self-employed for 30 years now, and so I'm going to have to kind of figure that out.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get a job. Hasn't been working, but I can make money. So,
how much money do you have? Or will you have when the smoke clears on this?
The house. I'm sitting in it.
That's it. What's the house worth?
That's it. $225, according to the ELT lady, who was very nice.
Okay. If we could get your income going, so I knew you had something to live on, I would tell you to slow down and not sell it fast.
Okay.
Unless the house holds memories and emotions that you'd rather get away from.
That's part of the problem, Dave, quite frankly. It's
fair.
Kind of my support system is here. But that said, it is like all I want to do is run. This has been going on for quite a while now, unfortunately.
Yeah, you want to clean. You want the whiteboard wiped off. I don't mind you selling that. What I do is just sell a house and rent for 6 months. But what I would also do is not touch the money.
Don't touch it. Go get a
touch
job
the money.
at Costco.
Go get a job and make enough money to survive without touching the money. Don't use this money to be your fresh start.
Go get a job anywhere. Go
get you a nice apartment somewhere. Get you a fresh emotional well-being around you, but don't spend the money.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we talk about your life and your money. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Keisha is in Wichita, Kansas. Hi, Keisha. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can John and I help?
Well, I don't... Honestly, I'm not sure that I'm asking the right question, but I'm struggling with feeling like if I approach my mother-in-law, I disrespect my husband, because my mother-in-law talks negatively about me to family and friends when she is upset, and honestly, I'm not sure why. It started shortly after we became married. We've been married almost 6 years, have 2 great children, and it's just kind of getting worse. So I know I can't control other people, but I want to support and respect my husband in every which way because he leads a wonderful family. And
so give me an example. When she gets upset, give me an example of that.
Mm-hmm. So the most recent was she was in a disagreement with her other son, and she then called him disrespectful and isn't sure where he learned that and said that I must be rubbing off on him as well.
So did he immediately tell his mom, "Do not disrespect my wife"?
No, that was her son, her brother-in-law.
That was my brother-in-law.
Oh, okay,
But he shared that with my husband, and yes, my husband immediately talked to her and said, "Don't ever do this again."
Oh, good. Good for him.
You know, but it's not the first time, and I know it's not going to be the last time.
So what's her reaction
so
when her son calls?
What do we do?
When her son calls her on the carpet, your husband, and says, "Hey, Mom, you can't talk about my wife like that. Come on, what's your problem? Stop it." What did she say?
Right. There's no apologies. There's blaming of either him or I. She's never wrong with it.
Okay.
So there's really 2 choices you got.
Right.
Choice number 1 is let your husband know, "Hey, I'm feeling this burning in my soul. I want to sit down with her and just ask. I'd love to make peace with the grandparents of the grandmother of my kids."
Right.
You'd have to understand, and you make peace with the fact that peace may never come.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, you've got to unhitch yourself from this woman who's just choosing to bring poison into your life. And I know that sounds trite and silly, and how am I supposed to do that? At the end of the day, you're going to have to make a decision. That old lady can just say whatever she's going to say. But I'm going to love my kids. I'm a good wife. I'm a good friend. I'm a good neighbor. I got a great husband, and I'm going to go about my life. I'm not going to let her dictate my world.
Right.
I'm personally a fan of face-to-face conversations, but I've had to make peace over the years with the fact that some people, A, don't want to have them with me, or B, they have no interest in any sort of reconciliation because, like you said, they're narcissistic.
She's never wrong.
Yeah, they're never wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I always want to know I went down swinging on that one.
Yeah, you gave it every shot. So it might be that you and your husband and your father-in-law and mother-in-law go to dinner one night, you all buy, and just say, you know, I'm not trying to correct you at all. I just want to tell you that we love you, we respect you, and I don't want anything but good things between us. And I won't be ever saying anything bad about you behind your back, ever.
Right.
You can count on me to take your back. I'll always take your side behind your back. And if I ever have any issue with you, either your son or I will discuss it with you. We will not discuss it with other people. And we just want you to know that we love you and respect you. And gosh, if you could do that for us, that would be the greatest gift in the world. But even if you don't, we love you, we respect you, and you're the grandparents of our kids. And it just shames the crud out of her.
It's the old Bible verse about heaping coals, right?
Yeah.
And if you can't have a in person, you can write her a letter. Just tell her, I'm glad you're the grandmother of my kids. I love you, and I want you to know I respect you. And I love Dave. I hope that you'll do the same for me.
Yeah.
If you ever have any challenge with me, please give me a shout.
But here's the thing. Some people make a decision to be test pilot for a broom factory. And this woman is she's like a second-degree lieutenant test pilot for the broom factory. That's what she is. And so if she just decides I'm going to be a biatch the rest of my life and you're attached to her through her son, you just have that attachment and you just go, that's the crazy one over there in the corner. Look at her. Check out the pointed hat. So that's just, you just have to kind of put that in your head and kind of grin and go on because every family's got some, right?
Right. That is very true.
It's hard, but that's where you said it. You said it early in the conversation. You said it, Keisha. You said, I can't control her. So, I mean, you've intellectually got that part, but the problem, the next trip is to emotionally get that part where you go, I can't control her.
Because here's what you're trying to do. You're trying to figure out what it is you're doing.
And you're not doing anything.
You're not doing anything.
There's something way back in her childhood that just is in her interaction with her husband or something.
Who knows?
I don't know. Somewhere along the line, hurting people hurt people.
And usually these situations are real frustrating for me because we got a husband who won't step up to his mom, and that's not the case here.
You got a man.
You got
I love your husband. I love your husband.
It's awesome.
And I do too.
Yeah.
Good.
He's because usually I get this call when I'm dealing with a wuss on a husband. He won't stand up to his little mommy.
Right.
And this guy's a stud.
Yeah.
And he wasn't mean to her. He just called her out.
Yeah.
But in her world, anybody in her little narcissistic world, anybody who calls her out is called mean.
Yeah.
You're just so mean.
So here's the messy part of this. You have a fantasy in your head about Christmas and Thanksgiving that has these perfect grandparents that welcome your kids and they run out of the car and they hug you and you can call her about challenges with your kid. This doesn't exist.
Yeah, you're just going to have the Halloween character show up at your Thanksgiving.
You got to let the fantasy go. And I hate that for you.
But it's most families. It's most families.
It is. But we all have the fantasy, and often.
It's like freaking Leave It to Beaver did this to this culture. We all think June Cleaver's out there somewhere. And she's, I don't know where she went. I think she died about a generation ago. But we've got the little white picket fence and the little functional family.
And
most families put the fun in dysfunction. I'm just saying. This is the Ramsey Show. Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless. You guys had any idea how hostile a work environment this is? behind the scenes before the commercials go off. It's unbelievable.
I don't know how Kelly and James sleep at night, man. Those two are ruthless.
They are ruthless. Yeah, just getting an argument with a PhD in psychology. It's not healthy. Open phones at 888-825-5225. They're both crying. 888-825-5225. Y'all jump in. We'll talk. If you're struggling to keep up with payments, you know what it's like to be scared? I do. It's not easy. And you don't have to live like this. When you pay off your debt and you do it quickly, you never have to have that kind of stress in your life again. And you can do this. Here's where you start. Financial Peace University. Millions of families have taken this class and learned how to pay off debt, take control of their money, and you can stream all 9 lessons right now. You can get some extra support by going through the class with others, and the only way to get Financial Peace University is through Ramsey Plus. You can get a free trial to the membership of Ramsey Plus by texting TRIAL to 33789. Don't be held back. Put an end to the worry, end to the stress. Financial Peace University, a free trial at Ramsey Plus. Text TRIAL to 33789. Ishmael is with us in Denver, Colorado. Hi, Ishmael. What's up?
Yes, sir. I have a trucking company. Owned it for about 3 years, and just been recently listening to you guys and learning the new ropes of how to manage my money. I have about, in the business, I have about $32,000 in debt. And then personally, I've got about $21,000 in student loans. And I just wanted to know how would be the best way to budget for the business, and then also try to get out of my hole that I've digged myself.
So I'm guessing that you own the truck and you drive the truck, and that's your trucking company.
Yes, sir. Yes.
There's not other trucks involved or other drivers involved. It's you and one truck, right? Hello? Uh-oh.
He didn't like your answer, Dave.
We just lost him. No, I think we just lost him. I didn't do anything offensive yet. I hadn't had him on the
I'm just kidding.
line long enough to be offensive. But, yeah, I was just getting there. But,
yeah.
Okay, so we'll come back to that. See if we can get him back up in a second.
Great.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. John is in Atlanta. Hi, John. How are you?
Hello. Good evening, Dave and John. Question for you.
Sure.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, that's great.
Okay. So I have beneficiaries set on my retirement account as well as on my term life insurance outside of work, and then my life insurance at work, and then the supplemental life insurance I have at work as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to understand, like, when and why do I need a will, in case when I die, basically.
You're single?
Yes, single.
Okay. Well, I think your will's going to be very simple and very clean, but I would have one. My guess is you have a car, don't you?
Yes, I have a car, a mortgage, and emergency fund money as well.
Okay. So getting possession of that bank account, that car title, and getting that house sold is going to be 20 times easier with a will for whoever's left with this job to do than it will be without a will, because they're going to have to go into court and get permission on every stinking little thing in probate court if you don't have a will. So your will says, I name so-and-so. How old are you?
30, well, I'll be 37 pretty soon.
And you're single. Who would be the executor of your estate? Who would be in charge of handling your estate?
I guess it would be one of my parents.
Yeah.
I haven't decided who yet, but one of my parents.
Well, let's just, for purposes of discussion, we'll call it your dad, okay? Let's call it your mom. Your mom is going to be the executor of the estate. An executor, the word executor means execute. They're an executor. They execute what the will says. That's all they do. And so if they have a will, she hires an attorney, a few $100s, they go to probate court, get the will approved, and then the judge will give the executor full powers to sell the house sell the car, sign the title for the car, sign the title to the house, clean out the bank account, and use it for the good of the people in the will. Now, the executor's job is to do what you said to do in the will. You're going to say, sell everything and give the money to whoever. And that's what the will is going to say. But, yes, you definitely need a will.
Okay.
Go to mamabearlegalforms.com. They're inexpensive to do online. You can do it very quickly, very easily. They've got some worksheets and stuff that'll help you get just, you got to have an executor appointed, and then you've got to decide who your heirs are. And the more prep you do before dying, the easier it is on everyone that's left behind. And so this is a gift to people that you love, is the way you look at a will, the way you look at life insurance, the way you look at naming the beneficiaries. You're obviously a very diligent person anyway, so you're just missing this one thing. But, John, my estate plan is very complicated because there's a bunch of crap in it. And so making sure that everybody knows where they stand, what the part is, what to expect, what not to expect, those kinds of things in my estate plan is a gift of mine to the relationships of the people that are left behind, because people fight more over what somebody meant to do that they didn't say out loud in a will and didn't have documented properly than they do anything else just about in families.
And when you're grieving, you hear things differently. You imagine things differently. I know so many folks who have already spent money of estates that they're not even going to, right? Everything comes to a head. I love the way you say that. It's a gift. Just think of the people that you love, grieving your loss, and you want to provide them with the smoothest avenue towards cleaning this mess up.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, the antithesis of it is snarky, but is if you want to leave your family all fighting with each other and you think that'd be fun, that's like the ultimate existential practical joke. And you want to just leave this bunch of jerks all being jerks to each other forever, leave a very complicated estate with mixed up directions and not much of a will, and they will go into hyper mode.
The statement that a buddy gave to me one time, we were just all hanging out, and they said, talking about their wills, and I said, I don't have one. And my buddy John said, the only reason to not have a will is if you hate your wife and kids.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, okay, right? If you want the state of Texas or the state of Tennessee or the state of Nebraska taking care of your family, don't have a will. Yeah. They'll do a great job because they do a great job taking care of everything else.
Yeah, I mean, have you been in that DMV line lately?
Yeah, they'll be great for your weeping family looking for groceries. So, yeah, man. And if you're in his situation, it's a gift to your mom. It's a gift to your dad. It's a gift to your loved ones. It's a gift to your nieces or nephews, whoever the beneficiaries are going to be of your estate. And it doesn't take long.
Less of it goes to the lawyers. Less of it goes to the state. Less time is consumed executing your wishes when they are clearly laid out in a will. And it's just an absolutely vital thing.
I will say this. There is not an excuse to be an adult in the United States and not have a will. Period. It's gotten too cheap. You can do it online. You can go to a local attorney's office. It's just too easy to do. Yeah. It's inexcusable to not have it.
Yeah, our sponsor, Mama Bear Legal Forms, is just, they make it very
They did mine. That's I wanted to see what it was like, and I got a simple will. Just get it done.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Wills need to be state specific.
Yes.
Which means the state that you are currently residing, those laws will apply to your estate, nothing else. So I don't care where you used to live. I don't care where you grew up. I don't care where your property is. The laws in the state you reside in when you die will apply to your estate. And so if you have moved states, your will may be invalid. And if you've had a major family upheaval, you've gone through a divorce or the loss of a loved one or something, you may need to redo your will.
When we moved here, we redid ours, right?
Yeah, you should, because you're not in Texas anymore, and Texas law is considerably different than Tennessee. Right. So there you go.
Get it done.
In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Zachary and Tracy are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
We're doing great, Dave. How are you all doing?
Blessed.
Blessed. Life is good, man. Good to have you guys. Where do you live?
We're from Los Angeles, California.
Awesome. And all the way to Nashville to do a scream.
Yes, sir.
How much have you paid off?
We paid off $150,000.
Whoa! And how long did this take?
44 months.
44?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Just under 4 years.
And your range of income during that 44 months?
$78,000 to $150,000.
Whoa, double it. There you go. Game on. What do you guys do for a living?
Oh, well, I'm a manager at a worldwide media company.
Mm-hmm.
And I work from home. I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I run an online company.
Oh, hope you're doing voiceovers.
Used to be in radio in Hawaii, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the pipes for it for sure.
Thank you.
Well done. Good for you guys. Excellent. What kind of debt was the 150?
Well, 100,000 of that was student loans between the two of us, and then the rest was credit card and miscellaneous.
Okay, so you're just kind of normal.
Yep.
Just been gathering up. How long y'all been married?
We've been married for over 7 years now, but together for a total of 17.
Okay, so what happened 44 months ago that broke this loose?
Back in 2016, I lost my job at a company I was at for 10 years. Started there with 15 people, and then we grew it to about 1,000 plus. And it was basically bought out. They attempted to get rid of me, and that discouraged me going back to any corporate job. I was a repossession manager for an auto title loan company.
Oh.
So I used to be the bad guy. It was a blessing in disguise that I was fired. And so after that had happened, I had done Uber and Lyft and Amazon deliveries.
And eventually that led us to starting our own e-commerce business, and that plugged us into a lot of online groups and communities of people who are like us, small business owners. And I noticed that every time somebody would ask a question about personal finance, your name would pop up. And I had no idea who you were. I'd never heard of you before. Finally, one day I decided to look you up online, and it happened to be during one of your live shows. I saw a couple do their debt-free scream, and after that, I was hooked. I started listening to your show regularly, read the Total Money Makeover, put together a budget, but I knew that none of that would happen unless we were both on the same page. So I told him about Financial Peace University, and he agreed to take the class with me. And at the time, we found out that we were pregnant, so we were very excited at becoming first-time parents, and it gave us even more motivation to want to get out of debt. But while we were doing FPU, unfortunately, that first pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. And so that was one of the hardest things that we went through on this journey. Because I lost all motivation. I didn't want to talk to anybody, didn't want to see anybody. And it took time to heal, but we got through it. We graduated from Financial Peace University, and Zach was 100% on board, and we both started attacking our debt together.
Way to go, you guys.
That's awesome.
You fought through a lot.
Yes, we did.
Job loss and miscarriage and everything. Wow, that's a lot to fight through. A lot of adversity in that 44 months.
You kept going and kept going and kept going.
You scratch your way through all that, you're going to make it. That's pretty cool. All right, cool. And you brought your little daughter with you.
Yes,
what's her name?
Our rainbow baby, Bella Gloriana.
All right.
Yes.
Bella for beautiful, right?
Yes.
All right. She's ready to see
It
Mom.
is beautiful.
She's ready to see Mom.
It's okay, baby.
I love it. Way to go. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Well, because we're a married couple, definitely being on the same page. None of this would have happened if we didn't share the same goals and the same dreams of wanting to change our family tree and to build a better future for our family.
And for me, it's budgeting. I run online e-commerce. So it's a lot of purchasing, selling, whatnot. And communication has brought us closer together, even though we were married for 7 years. I mean, and together for 17.
We never talked about money until just a few years ago. And another key for us is giving generously. Before, we would only give like $1 here, a couple dollars there, because we were scared that we weren't going to have enough money. But when we started the baby steps, we started tithing regularly to our church, and that became the top line of our budget. And every time an opportunity came up for us to give, then we would. And we realized that by being generous and giving and putting kindness out into the world, God has blessed us in so many ways.
Oh, yeah.
So we're very grateful for all of that.
That's fun. Way to go. What's the name of your church?
St. Charles Borromeo Catholic Church in North
Okay,
Hollywood.
Cool. And where did you go to Financial Peace University?
Shepherd of the Hill in Porter Ranch.
Yeah, yeah. Very good, you guys. Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Who are your biggest cheerleaders?
I have a friend that I speak with daily. He runs an e-commerce business as well. His name is Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. And we kept to ourselves mostly because we knew that a lot of our friends and family wouldn't understand what we were going through. We were all conditioned to believe that debt is normal, that student loan debt is good debt, and that it's necessary to have a good credit score. And we hope that our friends and family that are seeing this today will realize all the sacrifices that we made and why we had to say no to them so many times, and that they realize and that they realize that no debt is good debt, and that real wealth, true wealth, doesn't come from a high credit score.
Amen. Way to go, you guys!
So excited for y'all, man. It's so cool, dude. Yeah. Just watching you two, love that little baby girl. It's so cool, and she's not going to experience any of this stuff. She'll go through her life's hardships, but she's not going to have this roadblock in front of her. So congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
We got a copy of the Legacy Journey for you. That's the next chapter in your story for sure, is that Changed Legacy. Way to go. And a copy of the Total Money Makeover, and you can, of course, give that to somebody and pay it forward and get things moving. So proud of you guys. Well done.
Thank you.
Zachary, Tracy, and Bella. Beautiful Bella. Los Angeles, $150,000 paid off in 44 months, making $78 to $150. Count it down.
Ready?
Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
So cool, man.
That's fabulous. I think little Bella was a little scared.
I don't know. I think she's heard her parents yell like that before. It's all good. That's so cool, man.
That's so fun. What a great celebration. Very, very, very well done. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Griffin on Twitter says, John, how do I find a balance between being a workaholic and being on Dave's program during and after FPU? It's so hard.
I think you've got to have a mission. You got to have a destination and a deadline, and you got to do the math, and you got to work really hard. That's gazelle intensity, right? And
working a lot of hours does not mean you're a workaholic.
No. That means you're in a season.
That's a hyperbole bunch of drama.
That's exactly what that is.
The definition of a workaholic is
someone who's an addict to work, who's trying to achieve for their self-esteem, right? And it goes on for years and years and years.
Yeah, and this is not someone who's
trying to earn their way,
trying to hit a goal.
Yeah, that's right.
Someone working to hit a goal in a healthy manner and putting in a whole ton of hours for a short period of time, living like no one else so later they can live like no one else, working like no one else so later they can work like no one else, is not by definition a workaholic.
That's what somebody calls their friend when they used to hang out, and now all of a sudden they're working really hard so they can get out of debt. And you say, oh,
you're
man,
just a workaholic.
He's a workaholic. We should talk to him.
Yeah.
No, he's got a goal in mind. He's laser focused on something.
Well, I mean, I think the word is just misused a lot. And sometimes it's done facetiously, and sometimes it's just people have a bad definition of it. My wife has said in the past, she goes, back during those times, you were kind of a workaholic, and I really wasn't. I've never in my life I'd say maybe in my early 20s I did. But other than that, I have not drawn my self-esteem from my work or my accomplishments.
See, I have. I've had seasons where I was on call 24/7 and then joined the police force and then was working. And
but
then
you're not working for a goal then. You're working trying to fill an empty hole.
That's exactly right. And that hole, no matter how much money you make, how much
accolades, you can't throw anything
you cannot fill it.
You cannot fill it up. That's a workaholic.
That's a workaholic.
That's a workaholic. That's a holic something. It's something aholic.
That's right.
When you're throwing stuff in that hole, that's what you're doing. But just simply working hard while you're in Financial Peace University, working 3 jobs and get out of debt so that you never have to again, that is not the definition of workaholic.
It's called the champion. Go get it, brother.
Yeah, that's it. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Romans 1:16, for I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes. General George Patton said, better to fight for something than live for nothing. Ishmael is with us in Denver. We got him back talking about his trucking company, if I remember you. So, Ishmael, I was asking you before we lost you, you have one truck and you drive it, or you have a whole staff, or what?
No, sir. I drive it.
So
Basically dispatch my own loads. And,
yeah, your trucking company is you in a rig.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I was wanting to make sure I understood what I was talking about. Okay, so the budget for your business is you're already doing one. We're just going to formalize it and make it more accurate because you're forgetting some things. You already do one in your head because that's why you take a, you're dispatching your own loads. So you take a load and you know it's going to cost you X number of dollars in fuel and some maintenance to get that load to its destination, right?
Yep.
And you take that load, and you know about how many loads you're probably going to get in a month, because how long you been doing this?
For a little over 3 years.
Okay. All right. So you know pretty clearly then, in a given month, typically in an August, you're going to make so many loads, and your gross revenue is going to be X. You probably could tell me pretty close to what August is going to look like if I asked, right?
Yeah, bare minimum, I'd say like about 20,000 maybe.
Yeah, top line before expenses, and that's the bare minimum. So, but more than likely, you think you'll make how much? Really? What's your real? Not way over, but not way under.
Yeah, I would say about 25,000.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Okay. Good. And if you made 25,000, you could probably tell me what your expenses would be. Fuel, for one, would be fairly easy to calculate, right?
Yeah, my fuel runs about like $1,500 a week, and then.
Dude, if you do $25,000 worth of loads, you're going to have fuel of $6,000. Is that all?
Close to that, I would say. Well, it's been a little bit more. Lately, it's been right on the rise.
Okay.
But
So what we're doing is we're doing August budget. You following me?
Correct.
I got $25,000 at the top. I'm going to spend, I think, $7,400 on fuel because it's on the rise, and we're going to do 4 weeks worth of $1,500 plus a little bit on the rise, and we've got a pretty good month going here at 25. It's not a bare bones month. And then what kind of repairs would you have in your typical month?
I'd say about anywhere from like 15 to 2,000 maybe.
All right, let's call it 2,000. We got 7,000 in fuel. That's 9. What are we going to run our food cost at while you're on the road? You see what I'm doing here? I'm just laying it all out. I want you to just put this on a piece of paper. You can do it with a blank yellow pad if you want.
Yeah, okay.
That's a budget.
Yep,
That's a budget. You're predicting your revenues and you're predicting your expenses. Thereby, you're predicting your profits before the month begins.
And when it comes to your debts that you have, you're going to put them in order, smallest to largest, and you're going to begin knocking them out one by one by one.
Yep, exactly in that order. And there's not a business debt because you signed personally for it, so it's all your debt. You got $32,000 on the business, but you signed that personally. You got $21,000 on personal, but you signed that personally. So you've got $53,000 worth of debt you got to clear here, and you can do that because you're probably making close to $100 a year profit, aren't you?
Yeah, close to about. Last year, I think we were about 75 net.
Yeah,
what we were after expenses.
That sounds low, but you go back and run it again. I mean, you got your actual taxable income. You could look at your tax return and tell that. But yeah, so if you got 75, and are you sleeping in the rig?
No. Sometimes I'm over the road, but most of the time it's mostly local. So my rent's about $680
Okay,
right now.
so now we're starting to run your personal budget. what you're going to do with your 75 or your 85, and then how much of that we're going to be able to apply to this $53,000 in debt. So I'm going to predict that you're going to be out of debt in under 2 years.
Okay.
And if you get an ice chest and go to a grocery store and make your lunches and your breakfast, you can get out even faster.
Yeah, because this is, I mean, $25,000 a year for 2 years out of 75 would be 50.
Okay.
And you'd be debt free in 2 years. So, and I think you can do it faster than that because you ain't got anything to do but work and get out of debt.
That's right.
That's all you got to do for the next 18 months. I think you can get there, but you just need to get real business-like about your trucking budget, which creates your profit, and then get real business-like on that profit. And what we're going to do with it, you need to set 25% of it aside for taxes when you figure out what your profit is, because you're supposed to be paying quarterly estimates on your profits. And if you don't, you're going to get a problem. So that's the process. And, you just got to stay up with your taxes, and then you pay your rent, pay your light bill, pay your food bill, and get out of debt. And this is what we're going to do. And it's all going to be just written down ahead of time, on paper, on purpose, before the month begins.
Dave, do you recommend somebody pull out depreciation on something like that?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. What I would do is I would set aside repair money.
Okay.
On a truck.
And if you don't spend it,
because you may not have an expense on a repair this month, but you will within some period of time.
So just save it.
On average, if we drive that many miles in a truck, you're going to have X number of dollars in a year of repairs,
tires and brakes,
divided by 12.
Okay.
And I'd be setting that aside monthly so that when that repair comes up, you've already put the money aside for it. In a sense, in a truck repair envelope, in a sense.
Okay.
So you're setting that aside all the time, because typically you're not going to have an even repair budget month to month to month to month. Even on your personal cars, you don't.
Yeah.
So, that's a good way to do it. All right, Pragati is with us in Jacksonville, Florida. Did I say that right, Pragati?
It's Pragati. How are you, Dave?
I knew I was going to mess it up. I'm great. I'm sorry I messed up your name. How can I help?
I'm a college student. I've been working doing an engineering internship since January. So I have some saved money, and I'm going back to school in 3 weeks. So I have about $10,000 that I'll probably won't need it until I graduate, which is in December of 22. I was wondering if I should invest it. Should I split it up and invest 50% and put some in savings, or what should I do with it?
I'd leave it all in savings and not touch a dime of it, and pay cash for everything till you get out of school. This is your insurance policy that you graduate with no debt.
Okay.
Because the chances of a tire blowing, of you getting a job interview, but you got to fly yourself there on a week's notice, or these expenses are going to pop up in your last year. Keep that money in account. Don't spend it, and you will be set up to win.
We're spending it on you and you completing this education and you transitioning into the new job. That is a better investment than an investment.
I see. Do you suggest, I still have about $6,000 in my savings account. Do you suggest, should I put maybe 30 to 40% of that $10,000 into high yield savings for a little bit?
High yield savings is an oxymoron. There is no high yield savings. High yield savings is 1.25 instead of 0.75.
And you lock your money up.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're not going to make enough on it to matter. I mean, if you made 20% on $10,000, it's $2,000. That does not change your life. What changes your life is you completing your education and you going and getting the new job. That's worth a lot of money.
And then in a year, if you get there and you've got the car, you got the clothes that you need for this new job, you're ready to rock and roll, and you still have $16,000 in the bank, then you get into investing.
Yep.
Good for you, though. You're
That's
crushing
the whole thing.
it. Way
You're
to
doing
go.
great. So proud of you. Very, very
awesome.
well done. John Goodhour, Dr. John Deloney. Check him out on the Dr. John Deloney Show, our very popular podcast from Ramsey Networks. James Childs is our producer. Kelly Daniel is our associate producer and phone screener. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. You can listen to all our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. Browse by topic or even send clips to your friends. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today.